Okay, today we're gonna be doing 20 minutes of quick hack the box. I will try to finish one or two chapters of this tutorial. Currently, I'm working on the hack the box getting started. I already finished some initial chapters, which is the setting up the environment, and then like the pen testing basics. And then the basic interface of the hack the box, and currently we're gonna be doing the first box, which is called nibbles. Let's see, nibbles enumeration. There are 201 standalone boxes of various operating systems and difficulty levels available to us on the HTB platform with the VIP membership. When writing this membership includes an official HTB created walkthrough for each retired machine. We can also find blog and video walkthroughs for the most boxes with a quick Google search. For our purpose, let us walk through the box Nibble, an easy rated Linux box that showcases common enumeration tactics, basic web application exploitations, and file-related misconfiguration to escalate privileges. So here we have the little picture, nibbles, the Linux-based, difficulties easy, 20 points, and it was released on 13th of January 2018. So yeah, let us first look at some machine statistics. Creator MRB3N or Mr. Ben probably. Based on Linux, easy. Okay, we have the walkthrough from the IPSec and another walkthrough on the GitLab.io. So let's see. Our first step when approaching any machine is to perform some basic enumeration. First, let us start with what we do know about the target. We already know that the target. We already know the target's IP address, that it's Linux, and it has a web-related attack vector. We call this gray box approach because we have some information about the target. Yeah, so since we already have something, we will call it gray box. When we don't know anything, it's usually called a black box. So on the HTB platform, the 20 active weekly release machines are all approached from a black box. Yeah, as I said, perspective. Users are given the IP address and operating system type beforehand, but no additional information about the target to formulate their attacks. This is why the throughout enumeration is critical and is often an iterative process. Before we continue, let us take a quick step back and look at the various approaches for penetration testing actions. There are three main types: black box, gray box, and white box. So, and each differs in a goals and approach. Let's see. So we have the different types of engagement. As I said, black box is a low level to no knowledge of a target. The penetration tester must perform in-depth reconnaissance to learn about the target. This might be an external penetration test where the tester is given only the company name and no further information such as target IP addresses, or an internal penetration test where the tester either has to bypass controls to gain initial access to the network or can connect to the internal network but has no information about the internal network and hosts. This type of penetration test most simulates an actual attack, but it's not as comprehensive as the other assessment types and could leave misconfigurations and vulnerabilities undiscovered. In a gray box test, the tester is given a certain amount of information in advance, as in this case right now. This may be a list of in-scope IP addresses, ranges, low-level credentials to web applications or Active Directory, or some application network diagrams. This type of penetration test can simulate a malicious insider or see what an attacker can do with a low level of access. In this scenario, the tester will typically spend less time on reconnaissance and more time for misconfigurations and attempting exploitation. And then the last, we have the white box, In this type of test, the tester is given complete access. In the web application test, they may be provided with administration level credentials and access to the source code, which is a pretty, big deal. Build diagrams and etc. To look to logic, vulnerabilities, and other difficulties to discover flows. In a network test, they may be given administration level credentials to dig into Active Directory or other systems for misconfigurations that may otherwise be missed. This assessment type is highly comprehensive, as the tester will have an access to both sides of a target and perform a comprehensive analysis. So the first type of enumeration method is obviously Nmap. So let us begin with a quick Nmap scan to look for open ports using the command Nmap with the option of SV, which is gonna let us know the version, and an open OA nibbles initial scan and IP address. This will run a service enumeration SV scan against the default top 100 ports and only return open ports. We can check this. We can check which ports and map scans for a given scan type by running a scan with no target specified. Using the command nmap VOG, here we will scan for a given okay. Here we will output the graphable format to stdout with the OG and OV for verbose output. Since no target is specified, the scan will fail, but will show the ports scanned. So let's see. Okay, we did the nmap over here. Initiated, so 1,000 ports got scanned, and then we get all those which are open. So we didn't specify a target. Okay, finally we will output all scans formats using OA. This includes XML output, graphable output, and text output that may be useful to us later. It is essential to get in the habit of taking extensive notes and saving all console output early on. So we don't clean the terminal, the console, when we're working with something, because we might need all the information afterwards. So the better we get at this while practicing, the more second nature it will become when a real world engagement. So we can also write down if we have I don't know, like a paper notebook. We can also just take it, copy paste it into the notepad, and keep it in the folder which is related to the current test. So the better we get at this while practicing, the more second nature. Okay, it is also essential to keep detailed timestamp logs of scanning and exploitation attempts in our outage or incident in which the client needs information about activities. Okay, let's try to simulate this. In our practice test down below, we will have one task that we'll try to accomplish together, and this video will be a documentation of this. So we were here, yep. So we did the nmap, SV, open ports, nibbles, initial scan, and we put the IP address of a target. As you can see, the nmap process starts at this. So we have the time, we have the date, we have the time zone as well. The nmap scan report for the current IP address. Host is up. Okay, so out of 1,000 ports, we found 991 closed ports and then 7 filtered ports. So out of 1,000, we got 7 filtered ports. Some closed ports may be reported as filtered due to default restart rate limit. So at the end, we have two open ports right over here. So remaining of our 1000. So one is port number 22 TCP. It's open state and it's a SSH service. We can see the version. We can see that it's running on Ubuntu. And then the second port is 80, which is also TCP, and it's a HTTP Apache server. Okay. Okay, so it took us 11 seconds to make a enumeration scan. From initial scan, yeah, we can see that the host is likely Ubuntu Linux, and expose an Apache web server on the port 80 and open SSH server on port 22. SSH or Secure Shell is a protocol typically used for remote access to Linux and Unix hosts, and SSH can also be used to access Windows hosts, and is now native to Windows 10 since version 1809, which is pretty decent, I would say, because the other day I tried to use the non-Linux, non-SSH, but another type of Windows remote access, which didn't really work, and it had a lot of problems, so I just had to use the SSH to get an access to the Windows machine. So we can also see that all three types of scan output were created in our working directory. So let's see. We have the nibble initial scan and map file, and then this one. Okay, so before we start poking around at open ports, we can run a full TCP port scan using the command nmap ports open OA nibbles full TCP scan and then target. This will check for any services running on non-standard ports that our initial scan may have missed. Since this scanned all 65,535 TCP ports, it can take a long time to finish depending on the network, so we can leave this running in the background and move on with our enumeration using NC, which is the netcat, to do some banner grabbing. Confirms what nmap told us. The target is running on Apache web server and an open secure shell server, SSH. Yeah, as you can see, netcat, the target, port 22, we get unknown, the target IP address, and then port number, secure shell, and it's open. And it gives us the banner, which is the, all the information, the basic information that we get with the help of a netcat. The same with the port number 80, so it's HTTP open. Checking our other terminal window, we can see that the full port scan, which we left in the background, has finished and hasn't found any additional ports. So we didn't really waste time by doing just a quick one. But if you have extra seconds, extra minutes, extra hours, and you can always do that to be sure. Let's do a perform an nmap script. Can scan using the SC flag, so we're gonna proceed with some basic scripts. Default scripts which are listed here, we can see it. The scripts can be intrusive, so it is always important to understand exactly how our tools work. We run command nmap sc port 2280. Once we got rid of the all other closed or filter port, we have this two, so we run nmap only on this two to not waste time. Since we already know which ports are open, and we can save time and limit unnecessary scanner traffic by specifying the target ports with the P option, which is, as I said, buys us a lot of time. So what we get that port number 22, which is secure shell, gives us a SSH host keys, and then an HTTP server says that we don't have any title. Script scan did not give us anything handy. Let us round up and then map enumeration using the HTTP enum script, which can be used to enumerate common web applications directories. This scan also did not uncover anything useful. I mean, let's see. So we used the script, HTTP enumeration, we did the same thing, and at the end, yeah, we got the same information that we got from the netcat. I mean, you cannot be sure where we can get the valuable information, so the best thing is always try all the methods. Yeah, and this is it. This is the basic enumeration that we use at the beginning of all the testing, I mean the most tests. And here we have the one question. Answer the question below to complete this section. Let's see. So we're gonna spawn the target, and we need to run a map script on the target and then find out what is the Apache version running on the server, and we have to give an answer in the format, this format basically. So let's set up our terminal. I think we already, yeah, I suppose I'm already connected. Let's close all the previous terminals that I had. Let's start with the sudo open yeah, let's connect to our VPN. Okay, we are good to go. We can just minimize this tab, open another terminal tab, and then wait for our target to spawn. In the meantime, we can look up the cheat sheet that obviously you don't have to memorize every single function, but you have to know that they exist, you know, like, okay, this is the basic connect to VPN, ifconfig, which gives us the IP address, the netstat that shows like a network accessibility, and then we can connect. Okay, let's get back to our, okay, this is the VPN terminal. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's try to connect. And I mean, let's make a quick enumeration test on this target, which is 110.129.154.37. And let's give it a little bit of time. Okay. It says that the host is down, so we will try to ping it and see if our data is even reaching the server. Okay, I mean, it's reaching, but it's taking a lot of time. So let's get back and try our nmap again and see. This time it has to work because our ping gave us the feedback that the packages are going and coming back. Okay, so it is done here. We have, okay, again, 2 ports, the same as we saw in the tutorial. One is 22 TCP, which is secure shell service, and it's open, and another one is the same. Okay, we got the basic nmap script, and yeah, this is the version of an Apache server. We can put it here and get the right answer. Yep, here we go. We can mark this chapter as complete and move on to the next one. Okay, let's see, what time is it? Okay, this is the the first part of a nibbles enumeration, and I will hold it here. We'll stop here for today, and we're gonna finish this tomorrow.